Hello, this is Harmeet Sehdev, your host and those who brings you exciting webinars and interactive webinars from Sunstone Eduversity. We will give a minute for students to join us on Zoom and students to join us on YouTube. I'm sure we will give some time and the students will join. But having said that, without wasting any time, we will continue and start. So hi, as I said, this is Harmeet Sehdev, your host and host who brings you exciting and interactive webinars from Sunstone Eduversity. Welcome to yet another webinar by Sunstone Eduversity. Sunstone is now India's only pay after placement MBA, PGDM and BBA program too. We have grown to 19 campuses across India. Yes, you heard it right. We have grown to 19 campuses across India, and soon we will be in your city too. Yes, sooner or later you will have access to this revolutionary education as well. Sunstone University takes full accountability of students' careers, provides education that works for you, and reduces the financial burden of paying such a high fee for a management program. Today, we have the placements team of Sunstone University, the team that works rigorously so hard to make our students independent and get placed in their dream jobs. On public demand, we have brought the placements team once again to answer your queries related to pay after placement, money back guarantee, placements at Sunstone, company profiles, and many more things. Our lovely audience connected over Zoom and YouTube is requested to drop in all your questions in the chat section, and we will take all your queries to the panelists of the day. We will make sure that after the end of this session, we will be able to answer all your doubts. The panelists for the day are Abhishek Banerjee, VP Placement, Training and Development, Sunstone University. Abhishek is an impact-motivated management consultant with a decade of experience in corporate finance, mergers and acquisitions, and agricultural development. He has worked with companies like Genpact, Infosys, Bank of America, to name a few. I would now request Abhishek to please join us in the webinar.
Thank you, Harmeet, for having me here. It's a great pleasure to be able to speak to our students once again.
Thank you, Abhishek. It's an honor to have you with us. Moving on, we have Sonia Jetli, AVP Training and Development, Sunstone University. A lively and enthusiastic trainer, Sonia has 18 plus years of work experience in training and development and people management. She has worked with organizations like Hutch, Airtel, Wipro, Idea, Titan, Oriental Bank of Commerce, Delhi Police, to name a few. Sonia is a psychotherapist by qualification, also holds the distinction of being a certified POSH trainer. Hi, Sonia. Welcome to the webinar.
Hi, Harmeet. Thank you for having me. Looking forward to an interactive session with our students.
Thank you, Sonia. We have Soumya Prasad with us, AVP Corporate Relations, Sunstone University. Soumya has 21 plus years of experience in corporates as well as management institutions in the areas such as students placements, admissions, and academic coordination, HR and administration, working towards accreditations and ranking. Also, she's the founder and director of a startup, Pragati Tech Services, which provides waste management solutions. Hi, Soumya. Welcome to the webinar.
Hi, Harmeet. Nice to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Soumya. We have Nidhi Singh with us, AVP Corporate Relations, Sunstone University. Nidhi has over 17 years of rich experience with reputed institutions within and outside Delhi NCR. She has worked with institutions like Amity University, IILM, FIIB. Her expertise lies in managing corporate relations for education institutions, student counseling and engagement, student employability, and skill enhancement. Hi, Nidhi. Welcome to the webinar.
Hi, Harmeet. Happy to be here and looking forward to a very interactive session with the students.
Thank you, Nidhi, for taking out time. Moving on, we have Nancy Sharma, Senior Manager, Corporate Relations, Sunstone University. Nancy Sharma is an enthusiastic professional with a rich experience of 13 years in placements and corporate relations. In the past, she has worked with Untitled University, FIIB, JK Business School, and Indus Business School. Her expertise lies in planning and execution, networking, organizing and coordination, relation building, corporate communication, etc., to name a few. Hi, Nancy. Welcome to the webinar.
Hi, Harmeet. Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
So this is our panel for the day. And we do not want to waste a single minute. And in the meantime, you can all put in your questions on the Zoom chat and on the YouTube chat. But before that, we have some very popular questions which we get from on all the social media platforms everywhere. So we'll start with those questions. My first question is to Abhishek Banerjee. Abhishek, my first question to you is, how many times does Sunstone provide placement assistance? Is it one time, and or is it more than one time?
Thanks, Armeet. I would like to frame this by saying that while Sunstone follows a one job, one student policy, there are continued ways in which we assist our students with helping them move on to the right career path. So while we spend a lot of time, this team, the training and development team, spends a lot of time in identifying the right opportunities for each student. And we believe that the opportunities we pick and help students to succeed in are the most meaningful for them given their aspirations as well as their abilities. So we believe every student should and deserves a fair and equal opportunity at placements, and that is why we follow this policy. But we also believe in providing continued support. So there are different ways in which the placement team, as well as the training and development team, provides sustained support, is in touch with these students, and provide sustained support for these students to help them get into the right career paths. So that's our commitment to our students.
Right. Having said that, Abhishek, talking about the right commitment, right grooming, Sonia, how are students trained in the selection process? How does that take place? Because, training and development also does, the team also rigorously works for the, for the students to be facing the interviews, and, there's a lot that goes behind there as well. Sonia, over to you.
Thank you for that question, Harmeet. I think it's very relevant. You spoke about, how we help our students get placed. Well, the key to cracking any interview, especially a campus interview, is to come across as strong and confident. So what the training and development team really helps is we draw interventions that are truly holistic. Now, I would like to take a minute to talk about this because we structured our interventions in such a way, it's basically a triad. We focus on skill development, we focus on behaviors and mindset. So it's basically an SPM model, which really helps the student, not just with interview preparation, but also specific to interview preparation, such as things like conversational skills. And we also take it a step ahead in terms of training them how to organize their thoughts, ensure they have the right mindset while they are delivering the responses. So I think all of this, when it comes together, it really helps our students really perform well when they are faced with that recruiter. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it very, very well does. So we just heard from Abhishek that, how students get those opportunities, and Sonia just put the light how they are trained. On that note, Didi, I wanted to ask you the question on the 9 months paid internship and the final placement. I mean, how are these two things different?
Well, Harmeet, I'm sure this is a question that a lot of students must be asking otherwise in other webinars as well. I want to start by saying that internships can be remarkably valuable towards your career, for any student's career. They provide a nice learning curve and with some experience of the professional world. So we have this 9-month internship so that the students understand what they have to look forward to when they actually get a job. It's like a first-hand exposure of working in the real world. It also allows the student to put in, to use the skill, the knowledge, the theory that they've learned in the institute, practice all the theory, put it into practice basically. And also, for these 9 months, if they do an internship of 3 months, I'm saying that most of our students do get a pre-placement offer. So their careers start from there. Full-time employment is mixed with the internship of 9 months. that we are providing the students. We start with internship, they choose a career path, and if they get PPO, they start working in that organization. Otherwise, of course, we have more opportunities coming in for our students for full-time employment then.
Right. Thank you
And
so much. Yes, yes, Abhishek.
maybe just to add to what Nidhi just said, this internship also, throughout this internship, we are also hand holding the student through this phase. So they are not completely on their own when in this initial phase of their corporate life. So it gives a well protected, it's like a sandbox in which the students can play in, test their skills, newfound skills, behaviors, and mindsets, and at the same time know that we are there holding their hands. And if things do go wrong a little bit here and there, we are there to make everything okay. So by the time their program comes at an end, they are already well versed in that world and are fully, let's say, on their feet. So that's that's the idea behind this program.
Right, right. So, as we just got to know about internships, we got to know what happens in the training and development side. My next question is to Soumya ma'am. Soumya ma'am, what kind of designations are offered to students? Because we usually get this a lot that सबको manager बनना है, सबको आते ही उस post पे जाना है जहाँ पे they just want to head everything. But क्या वो होता है? Is it possible? Soumya ma'am, over to you.
Thank you for asking me this apt question. By and large, everybody would be having the same question in their mind. Post the graduation or the degree, what is the kind of designation I can look at? Basically, the designations or the profiles offered to postgraduate students depend majorly on the specialization they opt during their 2 years graduation. And mostly the companies offer them, hire them as management trainees. Having said that, the designations are most likely to be business analyst, financial analyst, HR generalist, sales and marketing manager, business development manager, relationship manager, to name a few.
Right. Thank you so much, Soumya ma'am, for taking that up for us. Nancy, my next question is, do students get a lot of marketing or target-based jobs, or there are other kind of profiles as well?
Yes, it's an important question because everyone looks at, like Soumya just said, designation. So that's also covers the kind of profile which a student gets. Marketing and target-based jobs are so many there in the market, but it's not just restricted to marketing jobs. We have every kind of profile into different specialization. We have HR roles, we have finance roles, we also offer data analytics, digital marketing. So it's not just restricted to marketing, but yes, the number is high when we talk about the marketing or target-based job. But it's not just limited to that.
Right, right.
And maybe just to
add in here,
sorry. Please,
yes,
please,
yes, Sonia,
go ahead.
Yes.
Just add into what Nancy says, with that question, just hearing that question, I can hear a lot of background apprehension that goes into the student's mind. That, okay, if it's sales related, if it's target based, how am I going to do it? But let me also put you guys at ease, all the students who are listening in, that the training and development, and especially the interventions that we're going to draw for you, it's going to really help you get over the fear of driving sales. And these interventions are so skill based and so easy. It'll be very easy for you to take in what is needed and go out there and chase any kind of target. So please do not have this in mind that with sales or if it's related to targets, it's not achievable. We have your back there, so don't worry.
Right.
So just an adjacent point to that, the type of profiles that come in and the number that comes in depends also on the batch profile. So if there are more students that opt for those streams, then we will get more of those profiles. So it depends really upon the batch itself. Every batch will change, have its own preferences, and that's how these profiles are also customized. So I would rather throw the question back at students: is what is it that you guys really want to do?
Right. Abhishek, my next question is actually to you, is that we have seen on many platforms about 150% placement, right? We addressed this in the previous webinar as well. If you can just highlight this again, what is this 150% placement? Because all the other colleges are talking about 100% placement. What is 150% placement? Abhishek, over to you.
Sure. So again, I would like to highlight here is that the training team and the placements team take a lot of effort in profiling and really understanding the students. Right? What are their abilities? What are their aspirations? What kind of careers do they want to succeed in? And that then immediately translates into a very robust pipeline of opportunities that we bring in for our students. So we fully understand going into a management career is a culmination of someone's educational life at that till that point in time. So it's very important that we give everyone the right set of opportunities, which means that we bring in a lot of opportunities for our students. Some of them fit a certain cohort of students better than the others, but it also means that it opens up a lot of options for each students. So
Right.
so through that, we have seen a lot of success in which most of our students have gotten up to two offers, more than two offers at times in hand. And that's really the strength of our training, development, and placement model, I would say, which enables us to do this.
Talking about, just like Abhishek just said, training and development. Sonia, one very, very important question we get on almost all platforms is how is the training and development happening in 19 campuses? Now we've grown to 19 campuses. How does the training and development take place in 19 campuses and how is it maintained? If you can please highlight that, Sonia.
Thanks for that question, Harmeet. I think that's very apt since, we have actually grown to 19 campuses. So at Sunstone, we really take pride in our, state-of-the-art learning management system that really, kind of allows us to standardize delivery of the interventions to students across campuses. So because we happen to be, technology forward, we use technology to cut through, any distances and bring learning to exactly where the student is at. So let me assure the students who are listening in, it does not matter which city you are. You could be in Nasik, you could be in Pune, Guwahati, or even Noida. The assignments certainly are coming your way. So yes, don't you worry on that accord. It's all standardized.
Right. Thank you so much, Sonia, for addressing that up for us. Next question is to Nidhi. Nidhi, we just spoke about the difference between 9 months internship and, of course, final placement. But, are students supposed to continue in the same organization, just like you mentioned about PPO? What if a student wants to change or wants to switch or wants to have a better chance, but the student is apt and it's, qualified and trained? Then what do we do in such a situation, Nidhi?
So Harmeet, in that case, let me start by telling you that Sunstone Eduversity focuses immensely on students learning through experiential programs. That means we provide them internships so that they can see where their interest lies, and they judge their interest, what is, in which field they feel more passionate, which field they feel more passionate about, what is it that they want to do their career in, and then what happens is if they do not feel comfortable in that particular internship, we of course get them other opportunities. So this internship period that we have for the student is ideally to understand what they want to do in life, and then comes your first job. But our focus as an institute is always on the career of the student and not just the first job. So we let them do a lot of hit and trial through internship to understand where they want to go in the future.
Absolutely. I think time and again, even in the faculty webinars which we have, we keep stressing on the fact that it is okay. कभी भी आपका जो want hai, wish hai, need hai, वो change हो सकता है, whatever you want to do in terms of your specialization. But it's very important to be focused. On that note, my next question is to Soumya ma'am. Soumya ma'am, what if someone doesn't want to do a job in the company he or she got a placement? Can he or she change the company? This is also a very common question we get. Soumya ma'am, over to you.
Thanks, Harmeet, for asking me this. It's a very good question. Everyone would be having the same doubt, but generally we don't encourage students to leave the organization abruptly. And it looks very unprofessional. When it comes to placements, Sunstone has laid down a well thought out process and guidelines are in place, which is an outcome of the culmination of years of knowledge and experience gathered by each and every member at Sunstone. In personal view, it's not professional and it's not advised for a student to opt out or leave the organization abruptly.
Absolutely. I think,
Yeah.
Abhishek, I think I was just coming to you. Abhishek, any student who is taking an opportunity, it's very important for the student to understand कि वो जब sign करता है या confirm करता है, so he should think about a lot of things, because that even for a student's brand, personal branding is not good. What do you have to say about that, Abhishek?
Yeah, so I'll probably take a step back. What Soumya ma'am highlighted was a very important point, which is that this team spends a lot of time, like I said, in bringing in the opportunities that are right for our students. When a student joins Sunstone, he or she is entrusting their future to us. And the cumulative experience and knowledge of our leadership team of the training and placement team is vast. This team has been set up, our processes, our internal knowledges have been set up in a way to deliver exactly that. What is the best for the students? So like, Vidhi also mentioned that we are not looking just at the first job that a student gets, but at the entire career path, which will span several decades. There is a logic, there is a science behind the opportunities that we bring in and that we open up to our students. So all of that thought, all of that process, all of that knowledge and experience that goes into doing this means that our students should entrust their judgment. I think I can be confident in saying that our judgment would come out to be better for you in the long run. So if you are becoming a part of this institution, trust on this judgment, trust on what we are designing for you. I'm sure that if students go with that mindset and really understand the whole approach or the process that we have set up for them, they are the ones who stand to benefit most from it and wouldn't probably need to change their organization. So
Right.
if a student has really gone through the training, the development, the counseling, the mentorship that this institution has to offer, I'm sure nobody would want to change the jobs that we bring in for them.
Right, absolutely. I think the student goes through rigorous training and a lot of counseling is done, and then the student opts for the job opportunities he or she gets. Right there. My next question is actually to Nancy. Nancy, do students have the option to select a job location?
That's an interesting question, actually, because we have students from all over the places, like different locations, and now we are also growing, campuses wise. So students have this question in mind: do they have a choice to choose the location of the particular job? To answer that, yes, they do have an option. But again, as an organization, we do not encourage them to be choosy or rigid about a particular job location, because sometimes a very good profile or a company comes with maybe a different location. So I think they should always, get out of their comfort zone and be ready to explore.
So
Absolutely.
if I can take some example from my own life, one of my life's best opportunity took me to Africa. So if at that time I had stayed rigid about the fact that no, I'm not going to relocate from Bangalore, or I'm not going to move from Bangalore to, let's say, forget about India, I wouldn't have been able to gain that experience. And I'm sure most of our students are young, they are starting out in life. I think it is also good from a cultural sensitivity point of view that you go out and explore different places, different people, different cultures, and that's how you learn more about not just the society but also your country, and that just ends up making you a better team player, a more sensitive person, and overall better business manager. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, you can of course choose your location. We do appreciate people having constraints, and that prevents mobility. We do appreciate that and support that. But those who do have that freedom, we would highly encourage you to leverage it.
Right, right. On that note, Nidhi, my next question is to you, which I'm also getting a lot in the chats already on YouTube and on Zoom, is what is the average package Sunstone offers? But in addition to this question, I would like to ask you this question because you have so many years of experience, Nidhi. How important is a salary package for a fresher? Does one need to look at the job role, or one needs to choose, the salary package? Which one is more important?
So, of course, a very interesting question comes up every time. It's in, I think, minds of every student when they sit for placements. My personal view, and I'm sure that's a view of every corporate relations professional, is that you should only look at the role. Why? Because initially, if you start with a good role but a lower package, you get to learn so much. When you grow within that role, for example, let me start with an example. If you get a pure branding role, for a product branding with a lower package, you should definitely take it up, because in the future, another three years down the line, you'll start with the strategizing for that product. So you're moving to the strategy role in 3-4 years. Whereas people who would have started at like 7 or 10 lakh with a general profile would be okay, or 12 or 15 after 3 years, but would be doing the same kind of work. So my focus, that's what I tell the students always. My focus and their focus should always be on the role that they choose, no matter what the company is, no matter what the package is. But of course, like you said, it is in the minds of a lot of people. They want to do that quick earning thing कि शुरू में जितना कमा सकते हो कमा लो, बाद में का बाद में देखा जाएगा. So it's a personal choice, but our opinion always remains that the role is more important than anything else.
Right. And what is the average package? I think Aditya Khiladi from YouTube is asking.
Yes. So,
and we get a lot of questions on Zoom as well. Yes,
okay.
Nidhi.
So Aditya, the average package at Sunstone Eduversity that we clocked this year was 4 lakhs. And so that's a good average package. So we've placed a lot of students above that and a little bit, a smaller batch below that.
Right.
Yeah. So if I just were
yes.
to add to it, I think the highest packages that we have gone up to is anywhere close to 10 lakhs or even higher. The opportunities that we bring in are easily in the 13, 14, 15 lakh range.
Right.
Having said that, again, I want to circle back to Nidhi ma'am's point, which is profile is most important. We are talking about career path rather than a job. Students should not look at a job as a job. They should look at their career. And what that means is that you will start to see a difference in how much you earn by the time 4 or 5 or 10 years have passed. And you will see a difference from, let's say, if you had picked a job which would have been higher paying, but didn't align well with your interest or where you would succeed. So it's much more important to pick a profile or a role that you would enjoy, you will succeed in, and then use it to become a leader in that field. Because as soon as you do that, the benefits will automatically start to flow. So that's what I would like to say.
Right. Thank you so much, Abhishek, for highlighting that so well. And having said that, we have a question for Nancy. Nancy, Abhijit Paul on YouTube says, please explain the CTC concept and what would be the CTC of average salary. Nancy, if you can please address this for the student.
I'm sorry, I missed the name. Abhishek, right?
Abhijit,
sorry. So yes, Abhijit, a very interesting question, and I'm happy to see that as a student or as an applicant, you are very much aware of the CTC and in hand and the salary breakup. So while applying for a job, it is good to see the CTC, because sometimes the expectations are very much different when it's CTC and in hand is different. So that again varies from company to company, like the salary structure. Okay, because there are basic salary, HRA, then if there is a reimbursement, that is also part of your salary. If it is a sales job, then there are some bonus or incentives which can be excluded or included in the salary, which is totally depend on the company, right? So I don't think that we can calculate always like how much would be the in-hand or average from a CTC. You have to see a salary structure of a certain company, which definitely they share while, in the job process or interview.
Right, right. Thank you so much, Nancy, for taking that up for us. We have another
Thank you.
question from Vikas Tamboli. Vikas says, Sir, I want to take admission in MBA from JECRC College. So, how to apply for admission? Vikas, I'll take this, and this is not a placement related question. You can actually go to sunstone.edu.in, fill in all your details, and you will get a free counseling session from the counselors. So, don't worry on that. Just go to our website and apply now. There's a next question from Manika Chauhan. She says, is internship playing vital role for getting higher package? And what's the Sunstone strategy on placement? And what skills are needed to get higher paid job? Nidhi, if you can please take this up for us.
Yeah, so Manvika, I'll take the first question first, and Harmeet, you repeat the other questions later.
Sure.
So, about the internship, yes, of course, the internships will help you getting a better job in the future, because you understand what your passion is during internship. It's like you're trying what you want to do in the future at someone else's cost. So you're working with them, you're trying to see where you will fit in, whether this is the right role for you or not. And you learn during these few months of internship, and then you move on to a full-time employment. Right? So of course, it'll help you in grabbing a better role, because you will be much aware about what you want in life. And that is very, very important if you want to build up a successful career for yourself.
Thank you, Nidhi, for taking that up for us. I think the next question, Abhishek, would be the apt person to answer this continuing question. What's the Sunstone strategy on placement? Yes, Abhishek, over to you.
So I would say it ties in what Sonia spoke about earlier, which is that we have a very robust training, development, and placement system in place. In a typical institution, not just in India, but abroad as well, placements are not something which are a focus for the institution. The focus is on top-down imparting of knowledge. We have flipped that concept on its head. What we are saying is that we will make you industry ready, which means that whatever feedback, whatever learning the placement team has, it feeds back into our training and development system that we impart to our students. So it drives which subjects we should teach, what topics we should teach, how we should teach it, what are the tools and techniques we want to teach. So Sunstone has this, I would say, the skill, behavior, and mindset model that we apply, which in turn is linked to the placement system, so that we know, okay, in this year, these are the profiles that we would be looking at. These are the profiles that would be in demand. And then we prepare our students accordingly. And wherever we find a gap, not just in skill again, but in behaviors or in mindset, that's what we try and build. So it's a very holistic system that is in place here.
Right. Abhishek, that was very well said. But having said that, Deep Prakash has a very interesting question on Zoom. Deep Prakash says, Sonia, this is for you. Ma'am or sir, I have a question regarding previous academics. Does it matter if having lower than 60%, can still get a better placement via hard work? Sonia, over to you.
Well, that's a wonderful question. Om Prakash, right?
Deep Prakash.
Deep
Prakash. All right. So Deep Prakash, yes, while it's always good, to aim for higher CGPAs, higher scores, etc., but that, let me tell you, is not the only marker towards success. That cannot be only standard by which you will think that, okay, will I be successful or not? Irrespective of what your previous academic, performance was, at Sunstone we have what I like to call is a is an approach where it's not just academic. We are going to be helping you develop skills not just through your traditional classroom methods. There are going to be multiple avenues by which you will see that slowly the learning is going to go up, right? You will see that the learning curve slowly builds up, because Abhishek just mentioned, that our interventions are programmed as such. We take a lot of time assessing students. So when you come on board, it's not just going to be the curriculum-driven program that is going to be, given to you. You're going to be spending a lot of time understanding what your skills are, where your strengths lie, what are your area of challenges, and slowly help you come up the curve. Right? So that is the kind of a specific input that we take pride in providing our students, I think, and that helps the students perform so well later on. I hope that answers your questions.
Yes, it very well does. Thank you, Sonia. Moving on, we have a question for Soumya ma'am. Soumya ma'am, there's a user, it's an anonymous user on Zoom, says, can students with 2 to 3 years of work experience expect higher salary in placements and a senior designation? It's a very, very common question. Soumya ma'am, over to you.
In fact, every student would be having this question in mind who comes with the work experience. Yes, you can look at getting higher paid salaries in the companies which come in for the placements at Sunstone, provided you complete your program successfully, and then the knowledge what you acquire during the trainings and during the program period will definitely make a huge difference and open up vast options for one's career goals and advancements. So yes, there is a huge option open for the student to get higher package with WorkX.
Right, but then it's all about students' hard work as well.
That's right.
It's the institute which works hard. It's the faculties, training development, CRC, and the student equally working hard. Thank you so much, Soumya ma'am, for addressing that up for us.
If I may come in here,
yes.
To what Soumya ma'am just said, to all the students listening here, I would like to stress, like what Soumya ma'am says holds true on all accounts. But you should also look at the MBA program as an investment, students, because it's an investment of your time and your resources, but it is an investment which is going to give you immediate benefits. Right? For instance, you're going to be upskilling yourself. You're going to learn how to better your work behavior, how to problem solve, manage people, manage processes. And those are the very traits that employers look for while they are hiring. So when they, come to, recruit MBA graduates, they are looking for exactly that. People who possess skills that is going to impact business. And because of that reason, of course, your MBA program really helps you, attract those exciting job opportunities.
Right. Sonia ma'am, adding to what you just said, there's another question from Sai Kumar on Zoom. Sai Kumar says, how Sunstone will develop students to get placed in a good company? Who better than you to take this up for us?
Sai Kumar, I think that's a great question, Sai. This is something that we just spoke about a while ago, and I would be happy to repeat this. Our training interventions are aligned in such a way, they are developed in such a way that it is not just the hard skills that you're going to be learning. So it's not just the curricular driven program or the subject knowledge that you're going to be gaining. There is a lot of other things, and I'm not just going to call it soft skills. I'm going to call it competencies. Now, these are competencies that are going to really help you get the job. And what are the competencies that recruiters all across look for? They look for, excellent communication skills. And by communication skills, I don't mean कि English अच्छा बोलना आना चाहिए, right? केवल फर्राटेदार इंग्लिश बोलने से होता नहीं है. हिंदी में भी अगर आप अपनी जो बातें हैं, अपना जो कॉन्सेप्ट है सामने वाले को अच्छे से समझा पाते हैं, that is also communication. Another thing that we really help our students, develop from get-go is problem solving. Problem solving ये नहीं होता है कि एक problem statement है, हमने उसको solve कर दिया. मैं थोड़ा सा इस पे बात करना चाहती हूँ. Because जब recruiters कोई भी problem आपको देते हैं interview के time, they're not interested so much in the solutioning. They are interested in the steps that you will take to team management. So I think when it all comes together, whether it's skill, whether it's mindset or behavior, and it all comes together beautifully for our students, for them to perform really well when they make that transition from campus to corporate.
Thank you so much, Sonia. It was a very well explained, detailed answer there. Thank you, Sonia. Moving on, I have a question for Abhishek from Rohit. Rohit says, Abhishek, will there be any impact on placements considering normal MBA over global immersion program?
Great. Rohit, yes, there will be an impact, but it all depends upon you. When you, so what is the global immersion program? It's a program that will give you exposure to a few key markets that we think are important, where you will absorb the cultural and the business nuances of that particular environment. How we think that could be useful is it will give you that cultural sensitivity, it will give you that flavor of what international markets look like. And you will bring that softer, let's say, strength to any interview process or any recruitment process. I think what it does is, to most people that like to travel or have an opportunity to travel, it opens up your mind, right? And an open mind, I think, is the most powerful tool to succeeding in the business world. It tells you that, yes, I can grow. It also tells you a lot of other things. You become more adaptable, you become quicker on your feet, and all these are attributes that benefit you in a softer way. It may not give you immediate benefit in your final placements, but in your career paths for the next 2 to 3 years, it will definitely give you an advantage over somebody who does not get that opportunity. So what it will give you, again, it will open up your mind. And I think that will help you succeed.
Absolutely. Talking about exposure, my next question is to Nidhi ma'am. Nidhi ma'am, Aditya Khiladi on YouTube says, is it Sunstone? And how does Sunstone, I think this is what is grammatically incorrect. I'll rephrase it. He says, how Sunstone provides paid internship where, you know, it's difficult to get an internship in the normal era. Nidhi, over to you.
Okay, so again, a question that a lot of students would be wanting to ask. It is not difficult to get a paid internship. The industry, the recruiters, the corporates are very well aware about the expenses of the student as well. They would want to take care of the candidate while the candidate is working with them. And it's also, they genuinely feel it's a motivation for the students while they're working with the company. So it is not difficult. Neither is getting an internship, a good internship profile difficult, nor is getting a paid internship difficult. I hope I've answered the question correctly. Harmeet, I think.
Harmeet, yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes, Nidhi, thank you so much for addressing that up for us. Abhishek, there is a very interesting question we've got from Rishabh. Rishabh says, 10 years down the line, which is the emerging most demanded job profile? Can you please guide? Abhishek, this is a very interesting question.
Very interesting. If I knew that, I would become a very, very successful, entrepreneur in the next 10 years. But yeah, there are some. I would like to address this by slightly changing the perspective of this problem, which is, let's not talk about profile. Let's talk about skill sets. Profiles change, skill sets don't. I think it would be broadly the same skill sets that help you succeed in the first 20 years of this millennia as it will be for the next 20 years. So I think the most important set of traits that will emerge to be successful in the next 20 to 30 years will be entrepreneurship and versatility. You have to be versatile, you have to be an entrepreneurial person. And when I unpack or delve deeper into that word of entrepreneurial, I mean that first, you have a very strong and resilient mindset. You believe that you can succeed, you have that confidence in you. And what that provides you is the motivation to go ahead and do the hard things. So you are not afraid to do the hard things.
Right.
The second
right.
thing is that your mindset, then your entire life up until then becomes a journey where you have been collecting different experiences, different skill sets. And that is what Sunstone prepares you for. We instill the right mindset in you and develop the nurture the budding ones to make you more resilient, to open up really your mind and see things from the perspective of an entrepreneurial person. And then we help you with the skills, basic problem solving approaches, the problem solving mindset, like we like to call. We impart you the skills, articulation, be it problem solving, be it analytical tools, etc. And we set you on a path with a certain momentum. So you know, okay, going forward, what are the other skills I need to watch out for, right? And as you do this, you will find that you become resilient. Economy might change, profiles might change, but your skill sets remain indispensable in the market. So even with automation, there are talks of AI, automation. We are talking about the next world, which is no code. So up until now, it was all about code. Now we are moving to a stage where we say products can be made without code.
Yeah.
What does that mean? That needs exactly these characteristics: resilience, the entrepreneurial mindset, ability and agility to grow quickly. And all this is what you will learn in the 15, 16 months of training, intensive training development, plus 9 months of internship that you will spend 2 years at Sunstone doing. This is why this is not an easy course, but by the end of it, I'm sure you will come out well prepared for the rest of your life.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Abhishek. My next question is to Nancy. Nancy, Deep Prakash on Zoom says, what is the criteria of getting resume shortlisted by a reputed company for a higher package?
Deep Prakash, such an interesting question because this is not for the fresher. I think even the experienced people face this question. Yesterday only, I was reading an article on LinkedIn regarding the same about how well a resume plays a role to getting an effective, important job. So
I'm
yes.
also interested in this question.
So to start with, I think first and foremost is your format. If we talk about from a fresher point of view, the format and the standardization should be there, because I have seen a lot of resume wherein the font is different. कहीं कुछ जा रहा है, एक line कहीं जा रही है, line. So don't do that. The synchronization should be there, and grammatically it has to be correct. Your information should be accurate because this is your image. The recruiter doesn't know you personally, and even they're not meeting you in the first go. So it is your resume. So that speaks about you. And an important thing is live examples and the project. Like being a fresher, you should add more, internship or live project, because as a practical exposure, which will add value to your resume. And the article which I was reading, I was telling about, it's about how well you describe your experiences, because it doesn't matter what you did in the past. The company always look for what you can do for them, right? So rather than writing it in a simple line, that I worked in that internship, the company is more interested in what you have learned, what you have achieved. Maybe you can show it by the percentage, and how well you implemented that project, right? So they can see how valuable you were in that particular project, and it also shows your leadership qualities if you have led a team or something. So I think practical examples are really, really important, which a company looks for, because a company gets n number of resume every day. So you put something which should be stand apart, right? So these experiences will be I think a key point.
Right. Wow. Yes, Nidhi. Yes, Nidhi.
Someone wants to add. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah. Beautifully summed up, Nancy. Of course, these are the things that are required for you to get your resume shortlisted by a good company. Another thing is customizing your resume according to the job profile that you're applying for. So we also keep telling our students to not keep a standard resume. We keep telling them to add, as and when they apply for a certain organization, they should keep customizing it as for the role available in that particular organization. So that really helps, because then we put in the keywords. of the job profile that we're applying for. And these days, a lot of recruiters are using tech to actually shortlist resumes. So the keywords really help in getting your resumes also shortlisted.
Wow, this is something even I did not know, that there are keywords that the recruiters are using. Wow, thank you so much, Nidhi ma'am, for adding your inputs. My next question is to Soumya ma'am. Aditya says, Soumya ma'am on Zoom, what is the placement difference between MBA and a PGDM course? I mean, is there any difference at all, Soumya ma'am? Over to you.
It's an interesting question. When you ask the difference between, it's Aditya, right? It's a nice question, Aditya. But when you ask about the difference between MBA and PGDM, MBA is what the universities provide, and PGDM is more industry relevant. And the curriculum which is there or designed for the PGDM programs are most industry friendly, what I can say, and up to date. This is what I understand the major difference between MBA and PGDM degree. Probably Abhishek can add a bit on this.
Yes, Abhishek, over to you.
From a placement perspective, no, I don't think there will be any difference, because ultimately you stand as a professional with a culmination of all your skills, knowledge, behaviors, etc., etc. So there is very minor difference. I would say it's largely a naming system, which is a difference between PGDM and MBA. But for all practical purposes, you are a business manager, and it wouldn't make much difference, if at all, I would say, in the placement process. Sonia, over to you.
Yes, Sonia, we have a question from Sonia to Sonia. Sonia says,
but before I get on to that question, if I can add to what Abhishek and Soumya ma'am were talking about. Well, there are marginal difference, but I would like to assure students that whatever differences there might be in terms of typical syllabi or curriculum, we bridge that with the interventions that are developed from the training and development. So irrespective of whether you are in a PGDM program or you are looking at applying to one of our colleges which have an MBA program, the training and development interventions are going to be standardized and for everyone. So whatever training an MBA is going to be getting, you're also going to be getting if you apply for PGDM, and the placements, of course, are open to all of them. So absolutely not much difference, really. Harmeet, you wanted to ask me another question? Yeah?
Yes.
We're having some technical
difficulties.
Yes, Harmeet is back with us.
Yes. Yes, I am back. I'm so sorry because of the technical difficulties here. We're all based work from home. There's a question from Sonia to Sonia. Sonia says, what are the top 5 employability skills demanded by recruiters?
Okay, so it's always nice to get a question from your namesake. So let me answer that by saying the top 5 employability skills. Well, there is always communication, there is always problem solving and time management. So those are skills that are universal, and those are skills that recruiters across industries will be looking for. But having said that, Sonia, employers are also now beginning to look beyond these competencies and look more towards skill-based competencies, right? So I've seen a trend which clearly indicates that recruiters are looking for skill-based competencies such as data visualization. How good are you at social media analytics? If you're doing a specialization in finance, are you able to do financial forecasting? And if you're doing a specialization in digital marketing, how good a storyteller you are. So the specialization program at Sunstone really comes into play here, because we drive these competencies through our specific through these specializations, which of course after the training, after 15 months of rigorous training, industry exposure and internships around these competencies, certainly make our students the preferred candidates for it. So Sonia, I hope I have answered your question there.
And I would like to add what Sonia ma'am said. very rightly said. Apart from communication, I think Excel, if we talk about from placement point of view, do whatever you want to do in life, learn Microsoft Excel. I just want to say
Right.
To add to all
Right.
that,
Yes.
the
Yes,
attitude
Soumya.
of the students also matter a lot when you look out for the placements. So
Right.
content and intent is what I would say.
Wow. Wow. This question did add a lot of value to the, in everybody's point of view. Thank you so much. Having said that, we have come towards the last question. My last question is to Abhishek. Sushovan Ghosh says, what is the value of Sunstone MBA program as compared to other colleges, and how corporate looks at Sunstone? Abhishek, over to you.
So, Sushovan, good point. What I would like to say is that the industry is waking up to different educational institutions and platforms. And Sunstone is one of the new ones that is, changing the way education has always worked. So they view us as very strong partners, especially partners who can deliver outcomes, who can meet recruitment outcomes for them. For the students, what I would say Sunstone's advantages are is that no other institution commits as much time, resources, and people to developing the student around the major employability skills, competencies, you may call it mindsets, behaviors, etc., etc. Most institutions, not just in India, most institutions focus again on a top-down academic approach, which is they impart learning to you. Whether you absorb it or not, the onus is on you. The onus is always on the students, and the outcome of that education is again the responsibility of the student. With Sunstone, that is completely different. We not For us, academics is one part. An equally important part is the training, development, and the placement, because ultimately all three are linked to student outcomes. We are striving not to teach you just for the sake of it, but so that you become employable, you add value to the economy and the society. So there's a tremendous amount of resources, there are tremendous amount of systems that we have put in place, which are very well developed, well thought through, continuously being improved upon with both, technology, human intervention, years of decades of experience of people who are present in this panel as well as outside of it. All that goes into a very strong commitment towards developing the student, which I'm sure no other institution does right now. So we truly stand apart.
Absolutely there with you. I'm sure all of us will agree there. Thank you so much, Abhishek, Sonia, Soumya, Nidhi, Nancy for joining us today. But we, as always, we do this. We would want you to give us one token of message to all the students, who are listening to us right now or who will listen to this video. We'll start with Abhishek. One token of message to all the students out there.
So I always say step up, stand out, and that's because you need to stand out from your, let's say, environment, your peers, and you need to step up in terms of your own commitment, your development, and your goals.
Right. Thank you so much, Abhishek. Soumya ma'am, over to you.
To add on to Abhishek, I would say the students never stop learning. That is one thing which will definitely give you a lot of career advancements in future. So make maximum utilization of these 2 years for which you come down to Sunstone for the program. And then this is what I would say to the students. Just be vigilant enough, learn, and then excel, sorry.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sonia ma'am. Nidhi ma'am, over to you.
Well, I would just say that you should keep an open mind. And if you join us, we are looking forward to having more interactions and learning from you, and also sharing some of our experiences with you. All the best.
Thank you so much, Nidhi ma'am. Sonia ma'am, over to you.
Well, I'd like to tell all the students to take a long and hard look at the panel right here. You will see that on this panel right here, right now, there is more than 50 years of combined experience. The fact that we are here and we are here at Sunstone is a testament to the fact how much we believe in the vision and mission. So let us all come together and help you realize your dreams. And I'm sure you will succeed. All the best.
Absolutely. Yes, it's actually very well said. We have 50 years of experience right on this panel. Yes, Nancy, over to you.
So my messages, which I also learned from my personal experience and experience from interacting with so many students throughout the year, is all progress takes place out of the comfort zone. So I think if you're going to follow this will help you with a lot of your doubts and queries and questions.
Thank you so much, Nancy ma'am. Yes, students need to step up, stand out, come out of their comfort zones. Yes, exceed, and of course, learn from the seniors as well. Thank you so much to the lovely panel for joining us today. It was a wonderful session with all of you, and I'm sure that we must have solved all the doubts of the students. We will come again with the placement team next month. But before that, having said that, we have come towards the end of the session. Thank you so much to all the panelists here. We come to the end of today's webinar. It was a wonderful interactive session. Thank you for all of you who connected with us on Zoom and YouTube. This is for all the viewers. We will be coming with a lot of insightful webinars every week. So stay tuned until we meet again in the next webinar, which is the same time, same place, every Friday at 6 p.m. Also, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please click the subscribe button and do that right away for all the latest updates on webinars, videos, and content. And if you haven't followed us on YouTube, on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, please do that right away. And we will get to you content that will help you grow in your career, and you will get all the updates. And I have seen a lot of questions on Sunstone Eduversity admission, the process of admission. Please go to sunstone.edu.in, fill in all your details, and the counselors will get in touch with you. Don't worry. So having said that, thank you for joining us again. This is me, Harmeet, signing off. Thank you to all the panelists, and thank you to all the audience. Thank you.